Hi everyone, welcome back to the ODIY channel where we talk about all things Odoo. This week I was in a Odoo Q&A session, and the topic of having a downloads page that you could only access after filling in a form came up. There was a little bit of a debate about the best way to do it and a few concerns, but this is the way that I thought, and it's a way that I've used before, that you could do it just as standard in version 17. So let's go and have a look at how we might do that. So I'm going to go over into my Odoo and website. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to add a page that contains some downloads that isn't easily accessible from the menu items, and ideally that you wouldn't be able to guess. So how might we do this? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page, which is going to be for our downloads. So I'm going to go to new in the top right, and I'm going to add a page. You can pick from any of the templates that are there. I'm just going to use a blank one. Now, the page title, you might be wanting to call it downloads. I'm going to call it interesting downloads for great people. Why not? Now it has add to menu. I'm going to say no, I don't want to add this page to the menu. I don't want it to be obviously accessible through the menu items. So I'm going to go create. And as you can see up at the top here, there is nothing there yet. So let's add in a title. Interesting downloads. Okay. And then let's add in a text here. Here are some great downloads for you. Okay. And let's just add one. So I'm just going to go. Now you might have noticed I actually did a / image. That's the way I get to documents. So in case you're confused. So I'm actually going to upload a document here. Let's add our proposal. So I'm just going to wait for this to upload my document that I'm going to add to this page, and then I'll be back. Okay, so it's uploaded my file and it's added it in here. It's there just as a PDF symbol, so I'm just going to put in proposal template. Okay, and then you can add other things in here. Okay, so I've got my download page. I'm just going to save that, and I'm going to publish it. Okay, so it's published, it's accessible, but it's not available in the menu. Okay, so now what I'm going to have is I'm going to add in a form whereby you fill it in, and once you fill it in, it's going to redirect you to that downloads page to download. Okay, so let me just take out this old thing here. Okay, so I'm going to add another block in here. Okay, and then in here, you might have free downloads. Just fill in our form. Right, so I am going to I'm going to do a little trick here where I'm going to make it a 2-column and then add it as a grid again in the top right. And now when I go and get my form, I can just put it into one of these sections here. Okay, so I can have like 2 little sections. Otherwise, if I'd done it the other way and just had a text field in there and moved the form content in there, it takes up the whole thing, and I just think it looks a bit messy. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I've done that. Okay, let's just take that. Okay. So now I've got this form here. We could add fields in whatever we want, but what I want it to do is once the person visiting my website has submitted their details, that they then can go to the downloads page and download, whatever it is, the free downloads. So what we do is we click in the submit button, and the submit button has its own sort of controls. And then there's 2 options on submit success. So once it's submitted and it's all going through, there's no errors, there's 2 things that can happen. It will either show a message. So if I'm going to, it could say thank you for your feedback, or thank you for your details, whatever. So it'll either show a message in situ, so where the form is, or we can get it, we can get it to do nothing, or we can get it to redirect to another page. Again, it can redirect to a thank you page. Thanks for contacting us, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to replace it, and I'm going to redirect them to my interesting downloads for great people page. I could have just called it downloads, but then, people could easily guess /downloads to be the name of the page. So that's why I did that. Okay, so now on submit, it's going to go to that page. And I'm just going to click save. And let's give that a test. So, yeah, I can actually leave that as that. Give me some free stuff. Okay, so now when I click submit, it's going to go and it's going to redirect me to my interesting downloads page, and from here we can just download whatever we've had here. Obviously you'd format this all a bit nicer, but you get the idea. So basically, if I go to a homepage, if I go to site and pages, if you need to access that page again, you can either put it in the URL, but it's actually in here, and so you can see it in here. It's going to be indexed, so it's going to be searchable by the search engine crawlers, but it's not part of the main menu. Okay, it is published because you want people to be able to access it, but they can't access it unless they know the URL or unless it's part of the menu. So that's how it works. Now, if you originally hadn't unticked the add to menu, you could then come in here and you can change it here. The other way you can change it is if we go back to homepage, and if I go site menu editor, this is where it would add a menu item. It would have added, the page there. Okay, and you would have a menu item here, and you can just delete these. It's not going to delete the page. It's just going to delete that menu item. Just like this one. Do I want it public? No, I don't. Take it out. Okay, so when I click save, I can only see what's in the menu. So I hope you found that useful. Cheers.